This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. We're comparing guitars today. We've got a couple to have a look at. This one that you've seen already, this is the Squier Classic Vibe 70s HSS Strat, and we're comparing that with this Sire Larry Carlton S7 model. As you can see, they're both similar guitars, both Strats, both HSS pickup configurations, and in broad terms, roughly the same sort of money. The Squier, one of these, will cost you about 322 quid, and the Sire is more expensive, but not by a whole lot. It's 429. So I guess what we're looking at today is basically, is this guitar worth the extra 100 quid? And in order to help us decide that, I've done a piece of music featuring both guitars. Now, normally, when I do these kind of things like this, I always show which pickup the guitar is set to and what the settings are that I'm plugged into and everything. But with two guitars, sometimes plugged into two different into two different amp settings and different pickups, and sometimes both on the screen at the same time, it was going to get rather crowded. So I'll just tell you that both guitars go through in this piece of music, play roughly the same kind of things at different times, and it's always with the same settings. I'm using various amp models in Guitar Rig and Bias Amp, and for the corresponding parts that I play on each guitar, I'm using the same pickup setting each time. Here's the piece of music, and let's see how they sound side by side. So there's not a great deal, it has to be said, to choose between them in terms of sound. you're talking fractions of a percentage point, I would say, in terms of, how they differ and, where they do differ at all. I'm sure you could make one guitar sound identical to the other simply by tweaking the mid-range control or the treble or something like that. So not really anything to choose between them. We'll call it a draw in terms of the sound. So what else do you use? What other factors do you use to decide on buying a guitar? Well, apart from how it sounds, there's how it feels, how it plays. And there's also, let's not be coy about this, how a guitar looks is often a big factor in deciding whether or not that guitar is to your personal taste. So, I got to tell you that this guitar, this Squier, is not to my personal taste in terms of how it looks. Practicality wise as well, I don't like 21 fret necks. I always think, well, maybe if I never even use that high 22nd fret, I know it's there and I can use it if I need to. And I don't know, maybe I feel a bit inhibited about going, on some kind of scale expedition that's going to go right up the top end of the neck if I haven't got that note there to kind of finish things off. So that's one consideration. I also don't like, as I've said many times, the big CBS style Fender headstock. It's just not to my taste. I'm not a big fan of that. So in terms of looks, this guitar for me is a bit of an ugly duckling, whereas this one is an absolute swan. And I've got the 22nd fret, which is more to my liking. I did enable the trem on the Squier because I thought, well, this guitar has a pretty good trem that can, do, all of the maybe not the extreme Floyd Rosey kind of stuff, but it'll do subtle warbles and swoops into notes and stuff like that pretty well. So I thought, well, let's see how the Squier does, and basically it just doesn't like it at all. Because you've got I suspect the butterfly string tree, where are we there? I think that is probably a large part of what causes the tuning instability on this. It doesn't like you using the trem, so I just decked it back down again and didn't use the trem on either guitar in that piece of music. So looks wise, I prefer the Sire, and in terms of usability, the fact that I've only got a 21 fret neck, and not that I'm a big trem user anyway, but if I've got a guitar with a trem on, I like it to work. So that's another tick in the minus column for this. The other thing that I would say is, this is a standard Fender neck joint, standard Fender heel joint like that, and players have been playing around that for decades and getting up to the top end of the neck and just dealing with it. But the Sire, let's have a look at this, has a much more ergonomic design that is easier. It's not impossible or even particularly difficult on the Squier to get to the top of the neck, but it is easier on this guitar because of that heel joint there. What else are you getting for your extra £100 with this guitar? Well, you're getting locking tuners. You're getting a roasted maple neck. You're getting a bone nut. You're getting rounded off, rolled fretboard edges that make it feel comfortable and played in right from the word go. So all of those things together, I would say, do mean that this guitar is worth the extra £100. It's for £429, the spec on this guitar is remarkably similar to the 800 plus change that you'd have to pay for a Fender Player Plus series guitar. And even they don't have the roasted maple neck or the bone nut. They do have the rolled fretboard edges though. So this is a lot of guitar for the money. There is nothing at all wrong with the Squier. Okay? You could use this as a good workhorse guitar and it would cover pretty much any situation. But all I'm saying is that if you're in the market for a HSS style Strat, then just scratch together the extra £100 or so from somewhere and get yourself the Sire. I think it is a better guitar. That said, this aesthetically, this look, this blacked out look, this 70s style kind of vibe that this guitar gives you might be absolutely gorgeous to you. It might be, your dream look of a guitar. It might be just everything that you love and adore about how a guitar should look. And if that's the case, well, get one of these. So there you go. Anyway, I meant to mention earlier that piece of music that you heard featuring both guitars. I've done a full tab for that in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, and there's a backing track as well, which is basically the track minus any of the lead guitar parts, and I'll put the clip of me soloing there as well. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, and the link is in the description. It's only £2.50 or $3 a month, and you get access to all of these additional resources that go along with these YouTube videos. Thank you so much to everyone who supports me in that way or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down in the description. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. The Sire versus the Squier. I managed to get all the way through the video without, getting those two words the wrong way around, which I'm quite pleased about. For me, this is the better guitar. It's worth the extra £100. This is still a good guitar, but it's just not my preference. But as you heard in that piece of music earlier, it's pretty much a dead heat when it comes to, how the guitars sound side by side. So there you go. Make of it what you will. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video, found it useful, entertaining, informative, and all the other good stuff. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? Don't forget the live stream, Friday, 5 PM UK time. We drink beer, we talk music, we talk guitars. What a cracking way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.